Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for cutting my daughter off completely when she was 18? I, 44 male, have a daughter, Jess, 18 female, with my ex-wife Mary, 44 female. Mary and I had a tumultuous relationship. 6 years ago, when Jess was 12, we came to the mutual decision to get a divorce after Mary had an emotional, and most likely physical, although she never admitted to it, affair with her co-worker. Some of the fault for the divorce probably lay with me, but in all honesty, I would call it at least 90% Mary's fault. I believe that she suffers from borderline personality disorder, but she never made any effort to get treated, despite my urging her and promising to pay for therapy. After our divorce, Jess more or less became something of a problem child, which I totally understood. I did everything in my power to create strict boundaries and reasonable rules within our house, but the second that she went back to her mother's house, Mary would let her do whatever she wanted. I paid child support during this period, which amounted to about $800 a month. When Jess was 14, she got caught with drugs at school. On our way home, I explained to her that she should be thanking her lucky stars she wasn't expelled, and that her punishment would involve no devices. The return of said devices would be contingent on her behavior and grades improving. That was the last time Jess came to my house. When she went back to her mother's, she henceforth refused to even get in the car when I went to pick her up. The reason was clear. Mary let her do whatever she wanted without repercussion, while I would hold her accountable. Mary got quasi-full custody, despite it not being court-mandated. I upped child support payments in response because I wanted to take care of my daughter. In December, Jess turned 18. I haven't spoken to her in a year. Mary texted me frantically a few days ago about child support, and I simply responded that Jess was 18. She then tore into me about abandoning my child. Jess made a TikTok about having a deadbeat dad the next day, probably with Mary's encouragement, as she knows I check her social media. There were a lot of fabricated details in the story, but I wonder if I was an asshole for just leaving them high and dry there. Top comments. Not the asshole for no longer paying child support because she's 18. However, check with your lawyer or that court order to make sure you are in the clear. You should send your daughter a text or email explaining why her mother no longer gets the money, how your door is always open to her to talk and rebuild the relationship, but given her actions and that she's an adult now, that it's on her to reach out to you if she wants a relationship. OP should also discuss the TikTok video with his attorney. If his daughter is blasting lies about him to the world, there's potential for that to impact him both professionally and socially. Depending on what was said about OP, it's possible the video could be considered defamatory and slanderous. While I certainly wouldn't suggest pursuing legal action against the daughter since she's 18 and too young to truly understand the potential repercussions of her actions, and OP is hoping for a future relationship with her, a cease and desist letter might be in order to protect himself. Not the asshole for cutting them off financially, but as a daughter with an actual deadbeat dad, I would encourage you to keep reaching out a hand to your daughter. Emotionally. I'd also recommend therapy. I was just tossed back and forth between my parents never knowing who was telling the truth and who was doing what was good for me. So I think as she's an adult, she's going to be able to decipher this much better now in the next few years. I am not sure about how exactly OP would tell his daughter that he is willing to help her if need be. He hasn't talked to her in a year, he can't relay the message via his ex. She has shown to be quite greedy and manipulative, at least OP thinks so. Some people here have suggested that he sends her a letter, email, text, etc., but letters can be thrown away without reading them. Emails and texts can be blocked. Therapy. If you are talking about therapy for OP, he had 6 years to do that. He may still need it. But he hasn't shown any trauma from his ex's affair, then divorce and his daughter's misbehavior. But it will help him no matter what. As for therapy for his daughter, I think she would have benefited from it when they got divorced. OP doesn't mention any therapy for his daughter at that time. 2 years after the divorce, the drug incident happened and his daughter refused to come for his parenting time. OP doesn't mention any therapy being conducted at his ex's home. Now the daughter is an adult. He can't legally force her to attend therapy. Speaking of her being an adult, you are right that she may now come to terms with her situation. I am not saying that her mother is necessarily a bad parent, but according to OP, it appears that she doesn't have any boundaries for their daughter. It appears that she encourages their daughter's bad behavior, and it seems that OP's ex-wife has a lot of influence over their daughter, so I don't think that the daughter will overcome that influence in the near future, and if that doesn't happen quickly, it will deliver a devastating blow to their relationship. Right now, it is almost non-existent. I know that I am sounding very negative right now, but these are some of the many possibilities. OP should think about them and plan his next actions accordingly. Hi, child of divorce here who cut off my dad for 10 years after asking him to continue $110 a month child support for my first year of college and sent it to me. He said no unless I would spend my holidays with him. I told him to kick rocks. Now at 36, I have a great relationship with my dad. Please don't give up on your daughter completely. She may see the situation more clearly as she gets older and sees how her mother tainted her image of you, or how she was being an unreasonable teenager. I'm so grateful my dad continued to reach out to me to check in, see how I was, as it eventually led to a beautiful friendship. You're deaf, not the asshole, but I hope you read this and don't give up all hope for your future relationship there. She is 18. Her mother doesn't get child support for an adult child. She hasn't spoken to you for over a year, has refused to even come to your home. She is the one who cut you off and not you. You have nothing to feel bad or guilty about. Her social media histrionic and tantrums are just that, tantrums. Ignore them and don't feed into the drama. It will get old really quickly when reality kicks in. This is her come to Jesus moment, that the freeloading, undisciplined BS she has been allowed to do by her mother is going to bite her in the ass. She needs to get a job and fend for herself. She is an adult, not the asshole. Not the asshole. But I think you F up letting Mary raise Jess. You allowed yourself, the only responsible adult, to be removed from the picture. I'm a dad myself, and my own did something similar. It did not go well for my brothers. You took the easy way out. Your daughter has dabbled in drugs, and you allowed her to be raised by someone that you know is unstable. That doesn't set boundaries. What do you think is going to happen? Jess is an adult now, and the only card you have left to play is your money. Don't be an idiot. Use it and set conditions if they want continued financial support. Jess needs a job or education for continued support, and if needed, therapy. Also insist that she spend more time with you to ensure that she knows you care and that there is progress. Or at the very least, away from her mom, who is probably a bad influence. Or you can walk away and prove your ex right. This is all for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and would like to see more related content, click the like button and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Until then, bye.